Aviation Fin UK, runway 01, clear to take off.
Hello and welcome to an Aviation Sim UK video. So, the next series of videos, or some of the videos coming out I should say, are going to be more about airport-specific aerodromes, mainly relating to training group aerodromes. But also there'll be some more, like, other aerodromes that aren't training group aerodromes as well, because I quite find them interesting and it's nice to learn about them all. So, we're going to kick it off with what's personally one of my favourite aerodromes to control at, which is Stansted. It's where I did my training, and this is all about the specifics at Stansted that you need to know about. So, the first thing, just to kick it off, okay, is the QFE. Okay, this is the pressure setting that, when set, it gives the height above a specific reference datum, which is usually the touchdown zone or the runway threshold. Okay, and this is different to the QNH, because the QNH obviously is the pressure setting that, when set, gives the altitude above the mean sea level. So there's a difference. We need to know this because some VFR aircraft will prefer to use the QFE because it's a direct height above the runway and it makes it easier for them. And to calculate the QFE, it's just 12 hectopascals less than the QNH. Okay, which is simple enough. So if the QNH is 1012, then the QFE at Stansted is 1000. Okay? So, there's also this transition altitude. Okay? This is the altitude that, when set, you set your pressure setting to the standard QNH. So that's 1013 point, I believe it's like 2 or 6. But it's 1013 basically, rounded. So, that altitude, because we're in the London TMA, is 6,000 feet. Elsewhere, it can be like 3,000 feet or something like that. So it varies quite a lot. Okay? And you just need to know that because pilots might ask you about what the transition altitude is. Okay? Then we have our visual reference points, or VRPs. Okay? All VRPs at Stansted are non-standard. The amount of times that I've been told, or I've had students told, some of them are standard, some of them aren't. They're all non-standard. They all need clearance from TCSX, and they all need a subsequent release on departure. Okay? And the VRPs that we have Audley End to the north, Great Dunmow to the east, Epping to the south, Puckeridge to the west, and Ware to the southwest. Okay? So we only have 5, which is fairly simple. Okay? Departures, VFR departures are, the standard is not above 1,500 feet. However, subject to traffic load, it can be increased to 3,400 feet with prior coordination with TCSX. Because you might have a lot of VFR and you might be like, well, I just want to get him out a lot higher than the rest. But it has to be coordinated because vectoring, TCSX needs to know because they do vector aircraft around the aerodrome, it can cause a bit of a problem. Hence why you also need a release as well. So, then we have helicopter procedures, okay? So, helicopter procedures, first of all, there is an aiming point Foxtrot, which is in between, I believe, holding points Foxtrot 3 and Foxtrot 4. It's to the north of the aerodrome. Okay? And we have visual reference points for helicopters when they're like waiting to cross the runway so they can hover. And they have a reference to hover about near. So, north of runway 2204 is the visual reference point is the northern edge of hangar 4. And for the south side, it's the diamond hangar. Okay? These are just important because you can just hover taxi. Not hover taxi, sorry. You can just instruct them to hover around that VLP. And they will do. And it makes your life easier to cross them around the runway. Fan stop procedures. This car is covered quite a lot, I'm not going to lie. It's fairly common. So, first of all, what is a fan stop procedure? So, a fan stop procedure is a procedure where the aircraft will, basically simulates an engine failure. It will pull the throttle all the way back to the minimum, simulate an engine failure. They'll look for a suitable field to land in an emergency landing. They'll go all the way down to the fields, and then they'll climb out. Okay? At Stansted, fan stop procedures are not authorised on approach or departure. because it causes a problem. We've got a lot of busy aircraft. Stansted is busy. IFR airport has lots of big aircraft. It can house lots of Boeing 747 and A380. So fan stop procedures are not authorised. Okay, just as a reference to nearby small aerodromes, so obviously big ones, you've got Luton and you've got Cambridge, both of which are covered by TC-Essex. You've also got Northfield to the south, Andrewsfield to the east, and one of my favourite information service aerodromes is Duxford to the northwest. Okay, that's just for your reference, just in case you have them and you're like, I don't know how close they are. They're very close. Okay. Cat 2 or 3 operations, or otherwise LVPs. I spelt something wrong. So LVPs come into force when the meteorological visibility is less than 600 meters, or if the cloud ceiling is 200 feet or less, and of broken or more, so more than 5 twos, basically more than 5/8 more than 5/8 of the sky covered with cloud. Okay, in the event of the aerodrome going into LVPs, which I have had before at Stansted, okay, you have to use Cat 3 holding points, which is runway 22. For runway 22, it's Sierra 3, Romeo 3, and Quebec 3. And for runway 04, it's Golf 3, Whiskey 3, Hotel 3, Kilo 3, and Lima 3. Okay, these, during live visibility procedures as well, you're not allowed to give conditional instructions because the aircraft might not be able to see each other. Okay, you should broadcast LVPs in the ATIS. You should expect aircraft to have an increased separation of 10 nautical miles for arrivals, and you're not allowed to use RSIVA on departures, because the aircraft can't see each other again. Okay? So, we're then coming to this thing called safeguarding, which not many people have heard of. Okay? Safeguarding is what we use, basically, when we feel like we're going to go into LVPs. Okay, so safeguard is initiated at 1,000 meters instrument runway visual range, or if they're forecast going to, low visibility procedures, or if the cloud ceiling is 300 feet and forecast to drop into 2 LVPs, and in which case we use the Cat 2 or 3 holding points. Okay, it's just something that we do just in case we do drop into LVPs. Okay, circuits are Stansted. The circuits are south side at 1,400 feet QNH. Okay, or 1,000 feet QFE. There's not much else to say. So if it's runway 22 departure, then it's left-hand visual circuits because the aircraft's turning left. If it's runway 04 departure, then it's right-hand visual circuits because the aircraft's turning right every time. Okay. Non-standard departure, okay, this is just an example that you should expect to get from FIM. Okay, so Ryanair 123 after standard noise abatement procedures, turn left or right or fly runway heading. Climb, maintain whatever feet, score whatever. Okay. You can also be told, because I got this from South Central, the clearance can vary a bit. Ryanair 123, after departure runway 22, climb, maintain 3,000 feet. After passing 2,000, turn left heading 090. Which is basically your after standard noise abatement, but we've specified the altitude, so we don't cause a problem. Okay, that's non-airway departures. PreNotes, I spelt Nugbo wrong. So, the amount of people that I meet and students that forget PreNotes. And PreNotes are important. I will drill on about this continuously. PreNotes are needed to warn a controller or an receiving area controller, London controller, that there's going to be a conflict between your departure and the arrivals. And Nugbo is one of these. Nugbo departures go through the Luton Gate, of which all arrivals from the north of England are vectored through the Luton Gate. So you have this conflict, because you've got to get these departures above the arrivals, and it becomes very annoying. So you have to pre-note TC Northwest to let them know that there's going to be this conflict between the Nugbo departures and Luton Gate arrivals. And it's just being nice and letting them know. Which brings us on to releases as well. Releases are required because the departing aircraft will cause a significant issue with other aircraft. It will cause conflict, and it will be proven conflict. For example, the Lambourne departure that crosses the Luton, Luton runway. What's it? It's not 26. It's the other one. I can't think of it right now, but I think it's 08. Arrival localizer. It will also interfere with the Heathrow holding patterns. Therefore, we need a release from TC Northeast to say yes, it is safe for this aircraft to depart. Okay, Lambourne's a special one as well because you have to get clearance from Heathrow North Approach as well, or Heathrow Director, because it's going to London Heathrow. It's very close. You have to get the clearance. Okay, that's always something to note. Okay, handoffs, because I was watching some people the other night and they handed everyone off to the wrong people. Northern departures, so Nugbo, Utava, Barkway or Bravo Kilo Yankee, all go to Finn. The rest go to TC Northeast. Okay, I can use my mouse. Okay, BKY is Barkway, CLN Clacton, DET Detling, LYD Lid, LAM Lambourne. The amount of times that I control and people are like, yes, we're clear to CLN, CLN departure. Like, no, it is the Clacton departure. Learn what the departure routes are. It makes life so much easier. Especially when you're told to go direct to a VOR. You preferably need to know what the names are. Okay, so that's handoffs. Coordination with Essex. So, you'll talk to Essex, or Essex will talk to you about aircraft that are coming in for a rejoin procedure or for a zone transit, VFR. Okay, they will coordinate with you and say, Stansted Air TC Essex, pass your message. Gulf Echo 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 Type Cessna 172, zone transit north to south via, I can't remember what the northern one is, Epping. No, Audley End. Okay, and then all you have to do is read it back to him word by word. Okay, because I've heard some wacky coordination before, and it gets very interesting. Okay, you will coordinate with Essex. He is your main coordination person for everything apart from range checks, final approach spacing, and low approach clearances. He will coordinate with everything apart from those three things. Okay, and he will issue zone departure clearances. So for VFR, you talk to Essex your zone departure clearance. Okay, coordination with Stansted Director or Finn. That's his coordination name is Finn, Final Director. Okay, if you have a missed approach as tower, you'll coordinate that with Finn. You'll say he's going around or whatever you've told him to do. You'll pre-note him that circuits are active or inactive. Okay, that's important for him because it's his airspace. He needs to know what's going on. Okay, he will also coordinate with you with range checks. Okay, so a range check is any arrival that's not an ILS arrival. Okay, so if it's a visual approach or an RNAV, he will tell you at 10 nautical miles from the aircraft landing that it's that what his arrival routing is. Okay, he will also coordinate with you about final approach spacing. If he sits there and says, "Yo, can you accept a 5-mile spacing between Ryanair 123 and EasyJet 224?" You can say yes or no. Okay, that's final approach spacing. Low approach clearances. I also can't spell for some reason today. Low approach clearances. If he's got an IFR circuit that wants to do a low approach, he will ask you for the clearance. Stansted Director will also ask you for any non-standard clearances. For example, if he has an emergency aircraft inbound, he might ask you for landing clearance for the aircraft if it's a single frequency approach, which is important to note. Don't be scared of that. Okay? And the missed approach procedures, okay? All of this is very confusing, and I'm not going to lie. The pilots need to know, not you. Okay? What you need to know is what direction the missed approach is going, because it might interfere with your aircraft. So, from runway 04, if they're going around, they'll climb straight ahead, not above altitude 3,000 feet. In VOR, Bravo Kilo Yankee radial 119er, they'll turn left to establish on the other. Basically, they're going to turn left, they're going to head north. That's what you need to know. All of the rest of it is very specific. And I'm not going to lie as tower controller, you don't need to know what the Barkway VOR is. Okay? basically he's going to Barkway, and he'll hold there. But they usually get vectored much earlier than that. For runway 22, it's a right-hand turn to hold over Barkway in short. Okay. Important to note: 3,000 feet. If you're giving a tactical heading, and for some weird reason, the students recently have been not. They give like half tactical heading. They'll go right. Well, Ryanair 123 turn right heading 360, and that's it. There's no altitude, which is very strange. So note the 3,000 feet. Because that means that altitude, okay, that's the safe altitude. He's not going to crash into a mountain at 3,000 feet, because they've already planned it. He's not going to interfere with other aircraft at 3,000 feet. It's just important to note that for all of the aerodromes, not just Stansted, about what the climbing altitude is for a go-around. And that's it. Okay? And that's the missed approach procedures. Okay? And that brings us to the end of this Stansted Specific talk, or lecture, I guess. Okay? I hope you found it interesting. I hope you take this on board. If you're S1, then this probably isn't for you, but yeah. If you're an S2 and you're a TAL trainee, or if you have got your S2 and you think you're coming to Stansted, hopefully this video will explain it to you and make life a little bit easier. Okay? I have just realised I've missed out all of the taxiways, so I'll just explain that to you briefly. All of the taxiways that cross between taxiways Juliet and Hotel, okay, are referred to as links. I don't have the charts up, which is very annoying. They're all referred to as links, only if they cross between the two. Okay, get a chart up if you do, and I can explain. Okay, if I've got an aircraft at stand 15 requesting taxi, I wish I could do this, but because he's taxiing between Hotel and Juliet, okay, so it'd be taxi holding point Romeo 1 for runway 22 via link Alpha, Hotel, and Romeo. Okay, note link Alpha because it's between Juliet and Hotel. Or I could do to show Ryanair 123 taxi holding point Romeo 1 for runway 22 via Alpha, Juliet, link Bravo, Hotel, and Romeo. Okay. I wish I had the charts up. I was meant to do it. I forgot completely. I've just remembered now. Okay. That should explain the link situation. If not, it's in the crib sheets about which ones referred to as links, which ones aren't. Other than that, I hope you found this video interesting. And feel free to comment below about any comments on this video, or whether there's any videos that you want to see in the future. We do have a Discord, which I'll probably give the link out at some point on Facebook or YouTube. Other than that, hopefully we'll see you around for the next specific one. I'll be going around the training groups slowly, getting all the videos done. Just remember, aviate, navigate, and communicate. Take care. Bye.